What's up, everybody? Time for some more R-Space. Would I be the a-hole if I refused to let my mother-in-law see my daughter after she treated my kids unequally and calling me an ungrateful B-word? Sorry in advance for formatting. I'm using my mobile. I have 2 children, a son that's 2 and a daughter that's 2 months. So to get right to the point, my mother-in-law went from having no grandchildren to having 3 grandsons in the space of 13 months. My son is the 3rd grandson, and my mother-in-law never showed much of an interest in him. She didn't visit at all in the first year, and would never call to see how he was. Both myself and my husband would send her pictures and updates, but she very rarely responded. At his first birthday party, she showed up 2 hours late and left after about 45 minutes to go to her daughter's house. The way she acts with her other 2 grandsons has always been the complete opposite. She would visit them regularly, and on the rare occasion she responded to pictures of our son, it would be with pictures of the other 2 boys. Fast forward to this year, and our daughter was born. My mother-in-law was delighted, as it's her first granddaughter. She has visited us numerous times to see our daughter, but completely ignores our son every time. He tries to interact with her, and she says, "Not now, I'm holding the baby," and other similar phrases. This bothers me, as it hurts to see him pushed to the side like that. I feel if she's not interested in her grandson, then why be interested in her granddaughter? I told her she couldn't come to my home to exclude my son while interacting with and spoiling my daughter. She shows up with gifts for my daughter and never anything for my son. This resulted in an argument, as she said she's entitled to spoil her granddaughter if she wants to. I responded by telling her until she can treat my children equally, she won't be seeing either of them. If she doesn't want to buy anything for my son, that's perfectly fine. I don't expect her to, but I won't have him growing up watching his sister get spoiled by her when he's completely ignored by her. She called me an ungrateful B-word and left. Since then, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law have both said I'd be an a-hole to deprive my daughter of that relationship, and I just need to suck it up for the sake of my daughter. My husband agrees with me and is on my side completely, but the reaction has me doubting myself. So would I be the a-hole for not allowing my mother-in-law to see my daughter because of how she treats my son? Knit Sanity is the first to judge. Not the a-hole. Do not allow this dynamic to grow between your children. It is horribly unfair to them both. Shame on your mother-in-law and other in-laws. Kudos to your husband for supporting you. Dazzling, shiny spine. Hope it continues. Stay strong. Your children come first. You got this, mama. Throwaway Work says, not the a-hole. If you allow her to continue with this behavior, it will F up both of your children. Your instincts are correct and don't let others tell you otherwise. Final judgment from Nut Michelle. Not the a-hole. As someone who grew up with a younger brother and grandparents who treated us the same way, I was the only girl in the family, I can tell you with certainty that you are doing the right thing. It took years and years of talking it out before my brother and I had a decent relationship because of the differences in the way our grandparents treated us. And good on your husband for having your back. Moving on. Am I the a-hole? I told my wife that I'll be using the massage chair after coming home. I, 27 female, work a physically taxing job, and since my wife, 25 female, left her job a year ago, I've been working double shifts. She is a stay-at-home mom with a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. A few months back, I decided to buy a massage chair because my feet hurt like crazy because I'm on my feet all day long. My wife told me that I cannot use the joint account money to buy it because we're short on money. So, I used my savings to buy the chair. It was on a 50% off sale, so it wasn't very expensive. Since I got it, it has been a very big relief, and I find it relaxing to just sit there for a while after coming home before doing childcare and chores. However, for the past 2 weeks or so, my wife has been hogging the chair in the evenings and says that she's tired after taking care of the kids all day. I was fine with it, but I asked her to use it before I come home or while I was doing the childcare and chores so that I could catch a small break after coming home. She got mad and said that I shouldn't be so selfish about it. She said she'll never again use it and went off into the room. Am I the a-hole? P.S. I use it for like 15 minutes immediately after coming home. I do the chores and childcare after taking rest for those 15 minutes. First response from Astronoat. Not the a-hole. Weird that she got aggressive over it. Zach RG says, she said she'll never use it again. LPT. The mile-high escalation is a favored tactic of difficult people. This makes settings simple. A reasonable boundaries into a pain in the ass with hopes that you'll be reluctant to try again in the future. ETA, it puts you on the defensive while drawing out the conversation, picking an argument, attrition, and setting you up to backpedal. Your imaginary friend has the next thought. Not the a-hole. If you kids can't figure this out, I'll take it away and neither of you can use it. But seriously, she insisted you buy it with your own funds, but she wants the benefit of it? She can use it when she puts the kids down to nap. But to be using it and insisting on it when you come home? Nope. She can use it later, or whatever. But since she pushed you to use your own funds, you should be able to use it for what you bought it for, kicking back when you get home from work. OP responds, I only use it for those 15 minutes, after which it will be completely free for her to use and I'll be doing housework till bedtime. Que he hecho says, not the a-hole. After a long day, it is reasonable to sit and relax a bit. When you arrive home is the first time all day that there are 2 adults to watch the kids, so she may feel this is her first opportunity to rest as well. To perhaps calm this situation, could you take turns in who gets that first 15 minutes in the chair when you get home? The OP chimes in, yes, we can try that. That would prevent future arguments. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for not wanting my fiancé's friend in our wedding party? My, female 26, fiancé, male 28, have been together for 4 years. He's been friends with Maya, female 30, for 6 years. They're fairly close, but she doesn't like me much. It's usually not an issue. Some people just don't mesh. We don't mesh. Edit to add, there's no heavy animosity and we can be near each other fine. We just don't talk when we are. We don't actively hate each other, just prefer not to hang out together. She isn't against us getting married and likely would say yes to being a bridesmaid to make him happy, but isn't pushing for it herself. We're recently engaged and he'd like her to be a bridesmaid. I don't. He wants her in a dress matching my bridesmaids, on my side, participating in the things we're doing. I said absolutely not. She doesn't even like me. I've seen wedding photos where one bridesmaid clearly doesn't want to be with the bride, and I don't want that. Plus, I really only want the women closest to me as bridesmaids. I suggested she wear a black dress to match the men's tuxes and be a groomsman. He said that will look dumb and he doesn't want to do that. Because he's dead set against including her on his side with the men and their activities and I'm dead set against having her with me and my bridesmaids, he said I've effectively said she can't be in the wedding. I argued he's just as much at fault for not budging as I am, but he said I'm the one being unreasonable. Mind you, his only reason for wanting her not with a groomsman is, that's dumb, just let her be a bridesmaid. Am I the a-hole for not budging and basically keeping her out of the wedding party according to my fiancé? The Kelsey 21 says, not the a-hole. It's his friend. She should be on his side. Maybe he's trying to force this on you to make you two get along, but that's such a bad idea that definitely won't work. Don't budge, OP. The OP responds, that's what I was thinking, but I feel like it'd only make it so we go from not friendly to really hating each other. I really want to stand my ground on this. The next thought comes from Toei425698. Not the a-hole. His friend is his responsibility, not yours. He accuses you of saying she can't be in the wedding, as if you aren't allowed to not want her in it. As if it is a bad thing not to want her in your wedding party. Girl, you're absolutely entitled to not want her in your wedding. She doesn't like you, you don't like her. Why would you be in the wrong about not wanting her? Don't argue the point anymore. Say it outright that he's right. You don't want her in your wedding party, so he can either invite her to be a groomswoman if he wants her in the wedding party, or shut up and stop pestering you. Edit to add to the people who don't get context. OP doesn't want friend in her wedding party. Friend is more than welcome to be in the groom's wedding party, or to just attend as a guest. Moving on. Am I the a-hole for kicking my dad and his wife out of my, technically their, house after they said they wanted to name their unborn twins after my deceased siblings? Not the a-hole. Using a throwaway because my step-siblings use Reddit. Some background. My, 27 female, younger brother, sister, and mom passed away in an accident 8 years ago. My father, 52 male, and I used to be very close before this, but we've drifted apart since then. I think some of this has to do with the fact I look a lot like my younger sister. She was always close to my dad, and we would often joke she would take care of him when he got older. My father also isn't really a believer in therapy and refuses to go. When I started going to therapy a few months after the accident, he said that I should be stronger and quote, stop giving people the satisfaction of seeing you weak. He remarried 2 years ago. His new wife and I don't get along. Some things she's done, including telling my father not to invite me to their wedding, telling him I was bullying her children because I refused to let them have an unsupervised party at my beach house, and I also told them they can get the F out if they continue to treat the staff disrespectfully. Her kids were 18 female and 17 male at the time. When she married my dad, she was also under the impression that the money he spent on her and the house he lived in was his. He never said it was, she just assumed. My mom left me a nice amount of money in her will, and I used it to invest and also work in the tech field, so I'm well off. However, considering my age, I don't think she was expecting this, and I don't think she was very pleased either. On to the issue. At their gender reveal party, they were expecting a boy and a girl. My dad announced they will be naming the kids after my dead siblings. I'm shocked, and I interrupt to tell them that naming the twins after my siblings is weird. His wife tells me to stop being jealous. At this point, I'm pissed. I ignore her and tell my dad that he would always stick up for me in the past, yet lets his wife belittle me now. How hurt I was he didn't invite me to his wedding, how he never once said he was proud of me or even a thank you or I love you after I bought this house for him, and basically said that if my siblings were here, they'd be disappointed in him and ashamed to call him dad since he's been a pretty crappy one so far. My father told me to get out of his house, and as I am about to leave, his wife comes up to me and I kid you not says, "Don't let the door hit your ass on the way out." So I walk back in, tell my dad that he and his wife had a month to leave my house. Well, wife started crying, dad said I was pathetic, and her family has been messaging me telling me to apologize. But my friends and family on both my mom and dad's side agree with me, although they think I should let my dad stay and kick the wife out. However, I want both out. I get that I acted a bit emotionally, and I'm starting to feel bad for stressing a pregnant woman. So am I the a-hole? Insane Misha 77 says, "Not the a-hole. Kick them out. They shouldn't name their twins after your dead siblings. It's totally wrong because your dead siblings were born to your dad and mom, not stepmom. They need to come up with other names. Your stepmom is a piece of work. I'm sorry for your loss of your mom and siblings." Next chime in from Curious Nature Junk. "Not the a-hole. In fact, you are my hero for today. Thank you for knowing your own worth and the worth of the family you lost in such an utterly crappy situation." Ninja Baba Mama says, "Not the a-hole. Stick to your guns. Your dad has become mental, and your stepmom is the reason. Get them out of your house and go low contact or no contact until your dad gets therapy and comes to his senses. I know you said he doesn't believe in therapy, but make it conditional if he wants a relationship with you."